What you doing? I'm the AC, and this is my top 20 list for 2020, and this is my last list because it is the last day of the year. If this is the first one you watch, weird place to start, but thank you for watching. But it's been a journey doing all this. And for my last list, I'm doing my top 20 favorite moments from 2020. That is a weird thing to say, to think that 2020 could have any kind of favorite moment. But, you know, regardless of all the stuff that happened, there was things personal to me that I actually really liked and really enjoyed about this year. And it's good to just look at the positive side of life. Anyway, so let me get started. It's going to be a long one with my top 20. So, number 20. Just general school progress. You know, like, I felt like I've been more lazy than I should have this year. But any kind of school stuff I did, any progress I made, something I should be proud of. And eventually I'm going to finish this degree. Number 19, my general YouTube progress. Same thing. I've done a lot on YouTube this year. I mean, besides making video almost every day, I've gotten somewhat better at editing. I've had some somewhat good ideas, a lot of new stuff I'm trying to do with my videos. And I've been enjoying all this progress I've been making and just feeling like I'm getting better, whether it's slowly or big steps at a time. Number 18, going to the beach. Now, this is even more special to other people when they get to go to the beach. I live in Hawaii, so it shouldn't be that special that I go to the beach. I forget that sometimes. But yeah, anytime we got to go to the beach, it's always nice. There was times some beaches were closed and people couldn't go anyways. When they finally opened and I could start going, finding somewhat secluded areas to, distance myself from other people, it was nice. It's always nice to be at the beach. Number 17, using the Seek and iNaturalist apps. At some point in the year, I found these apps that could, take pictures of animals and then they're identifying or plants or any kind of stuff. And I was really into it for a while. Eventually, it was whatever. It came out the hype whenever they announced there was going to be a new Pokemon Snap, so I was really excited to find something like this. They don't work terrifically. I made a whole video on it separately so you could see that. Number 16. I dyed my hair. Blue, a dark blue. Really, I gave it like a blue sheen. But I always wanted to dye my hair all my life. For some reason, I decided this was going to be the best time. If you watch videos, you probably can't even notice it because it is kind of dark. You have to kind of have the light on it in order to see the blue. But I'm glad that I finally did it. Number 15. Doing karaoke. I love doing karaoke. We've done some at the house, but before everything shut down, we did some earlier in the year in January and stuff with some friends, and that is always fun. I love karaoke. I can't sing, but I love getting drunk and just yelling songs, because that's pretty much what happens. Number 14. So much reading and some binge watching shows and movies, but I really love reading. It feels, I don't know, like I'm achieving something, like I'm doing something. It's so fulfilling, and I've done a whole lot of reading. I read manga all the time. This year I have almost tripled the amount of books I bought, and most of them aren't even manga. I did buy a lot of manga, but a bunch of other books, and just, reading all the stuff I read has led to me meeting authors and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, reading is so great. I even made a list of my favorite books, so you can watch that too. Number 13, the virtual conventions I went to, like Funimations, Anime Expo, Crunchyroll, all of those. I even made a video about turning my own house into like a mock convention center. But seeing them is still trying to have these conventions, even if they're online and virtual, trying to do all this kind of stuff. It's really cool. My favorite part, anyways, is the panels. So watching those panels, anyways, whether live or on digital, yeah, there's a different atmosphere which I miss, but it was still something I'm glad they were still trying. Number 12, my top 20 list. Doing these lists is honestly, it was one of the weirder things I've done. Whenever I had the idea to do it, I knew I was going to do some kind of list at the end of the year, because I did one last year. I was like, I'll do something like this. Then I was like, why don't I just do 20 lists of my top 20s that'll fit? It'll be my 2020. It sounded a lot easier. Honestly, once I did it, it got hard. Like I thought making lists, whether they're random but still relevant to the year, I thought it'd be a lot easier. I put a lot more effort and a lot more thought into these lists than I thought I would take. I'm glad I did it. Now that I'm on my last one, it's super cool and fulfilling. It's almost a little sad now that I'm finishing. But it was a lot harder than I thought. And I'm also really glad I'm done with it. Ooh. Number 11. Doing my Mind of Madness. To me, it was just amusing, mainly me trying to do these kind of like sketches that I don't want to say they're not good, but they're not supposed to be good. They're supposed to be like, eh. And it was really fun to shoot them. They took a lot longer. For them to be only a couple minutes long, I was spending hours making them. A lot of times it was really hot because it was the middle of summer. But it was kind of one of my more creative processes. And I did this once I stopped using Byte a lot. But yeah, I got about halfway through the series. And there's still a whole nother half of them to go. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see there. I mean, they're meh, right? They're just meh. Yeah. Number 10. Pretty much my whole summer of Byte. I did Byte for like 5 months or something, into spring, into summer, and especially my 24 hours of Bytes. That was ridiculous. That was a challenge only I did for myself, where I was making 1 byte every hour for an entire 24-hour day. Oh, that was fun. I'm glad I did that. But that was also just like, why am I doing this to myself? Oh, but it was amusing to me. And I met some cool people on Byte. I saw a lot of cool stuff that people did on Byte. But eventually, Byte became TikTok, and I don't like TikTok. And I'm not going to get in this rant again. But just saying, I wish Byte kind of went that route, and I probably would still be using it. Number 9, Animal Crossing. And a lot of other video games. I played a lot of video games this year, but there was something special about Animal Crossing when it first came out. Playing with friends, playing with my housemate, just going and chilling on other people's islands, decorating my island, trying to get out of debt, all that fun stuff that simulates real life, But there was just something weird about how everyone got into Animal Crossing. I guess it's because that was right when like this whole stay-at-home stuff and quarantine became a thing. So I guess Animal Crossing was a way for people to live their lives with animal people on an island. It was cool, and it was so nice when I did. I played that all the way through the summer up until like September, like every day. So yeah. Number 8. I was a DM for a little D&D campaign I had going with my housemates. That was really cool. It was my first time trying to DM and trying to come up with a semi-original story. I'm not great. I haven't played a lot of D&D, but we thought it would be something fun to try to do in a house. We only did like 3 sessions because then everyone else got busy with other stuff. But it was fun while it lasted. I'm really cool. And if we could do that again, or I have another group of friends to do it, that would be awesome. That would be really cool. It was so fun to do, and it's so funny too. Number 7, celebrating, hanging out with my housemates for birthdays and holidays. I'll say celebrate. It's pretty much we eat, we drink, and we watch movies and stuff. But that was cool. It was always something I look forward to. Coincidentally, we each had a birthday on a different month, so it always worked out. The time I dyed my hair was even on one of their birthdays. It had nothing to do with it. It was just coincidental. But it was always a nice time. One of the more positive, fun things to do this year. And with other people. Number 6. Playing Jackbox with a group of my friends online. One of them will stream it, and then the rest of us will all play it together. It was great. These are a bunch of my friends from my undergrad. And it was really cool. One, just a cool way to catch up with them. It was so cool. And we did it for a while. We also would play some Animal Crossing together. And we've done it a few times, sparingly. Everyone else gets busy with doing stuff. I should be more busy. But yeah, eventually stuff like this fades out and you do it less often. But it was always cool whenever we would do it. Now, number 5. And it's pretty much tied with number 6. Because it's pretty much the same thing. We was playing this game called King's Dilemma with a different group of friends. With a group of friends from here. We would play it online together. It was a really cool thing to do because we planned on playing this, in person. But then spring break happened. Then the quarantine happened. Everyone had to stay away from each other, so we found a way to play online. And it's so cool. But like I said, it's tied with number 6. Two different groups of friends, 2 different games we're playing. Still great. So these should be 5 and 6. Number 4. About a month in the Philippines. I took a whole trip. It was for field work. I went to Kalinga, mainly to go and watch their festival, the Rondon Festival, and just be in the Philippines because I do like the Philippines and being up there. There was so much cool stuff happen, and gotten to see all kinds of different places and the views and the music, the events. It was so cool. I miss the Philippines. It's almost been a year because that was in February, and it's going to be that again. But I don't know how it's going to go out. It was also a chaotic time because this was also right before quarantining started. As I was leaving, it was one of the not stressful, but there was a lot of extra stuff just trying to go through the airport because of all the outbreaks that were going on, and just trying to get back to Hawaii from them. But it was worth it. I enjoyed it. Number 3, this is along the same lines. Eating balut and a lot of other great food, especially in the Philippines. But balut was always a dream to finally eat because I saw so many people talking about how weird balut is and all that stuff. I loved it. It was so good. It's included on my top foods that I ate a lot, but it's so surprisingly good, and it's not weird at all. If you go into it thinking it's weird, okay, well, you're already biased towards it. But it's so good. If you ever get a chance to try it, do it. It's just eggy. And like an eggy soup. Yeah, the chick is in there, so it gets a little crunchy, but it's so good. And all the other food too. I ate so much food when I was in the Philippines. Oh, okay. Number 2. I published my short story collection, the Venturesome Concoction Short Stories by VC. That's me. I finally published it. And it's all started with me just, a hobby of writing short stories. Just whenever I felt like doing it. Eventually I wrote enough and I was like, hey, I could throw these together. It was kind of an experimental thing to see what it's like to publish through Amazon and all that kind of stuff. But I finally did it. I know how all that works. So if I ever finish writing anything else, I know how the process works. But you should also buy it. If you want to buy it, there's physical copies for $3.99 on Amazon. You can get a digital copy for 99 cents. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free on there. So you should check it out. The Venturesome Concoctions. Do it. If you like short stories, you definitely should. I like it. I wrote it, so of course I like it. Number 1. Oh, man. Number 1, by far, my favorite thing that I did this year was starting my podcast. What you doing, podcast? There were so many cool things about this podcast. I don't know if I ever thought I would make a podcast. It seems like a thing a lot of people are doing and trying to do. I'm usually not the one that's like, oh, they're doing it. I usually stick away from that. But I had the idea. I wanted to do it. I was listening to a lot more podcasts, and I finally got to it. I did 14 episodes in total, 12 with other people, different people, 2 with myself, because I'm a weirdo, and I thought it would be funny. But the first 7 were with my friends, just catching up with them, sharing stories, and all the cool stuff in our lives. Some of them had themes, some of them were just talking, and it was always fun. The next 7 were talking to authors that really enjoyed the books. I just want to talk more to them, and that was awesome. It was so cool to do this. I want to do it more, but people are busy. It's hard to coordinate these things. It was really ambitious of me to even be like, I'm going to do a podcast that is weekly with a new person every week. It was ambitious. I wanted to do it. I'm glad I did it. I'm going to have to think of a new plan for this, because I want to do it again. I want to keep doing it, do more podcasts. I love my podcasts. I hope other people enjoy them too. I think they're good. I think we have nice stories. We have nice topics of conversations, especially with the authors. They have, of course, great books. We'll have to see what the future of What You Do in Podcast is, but definitely, by far, like I said, my favorite thing that I did this year. It's so fun. I never expected doing podcasts to be so great. But there we go. My top 20 favorite things about 2020. Like I said, it's weird to say it like that, but it is. There was a lot of good stuff that came out of this year too. And I hope you all realize or can find good things in your life too, especially for a hectic year. But this is it. This is the end of the year. Thank you so much for a great year. I've done so much YouTube stuff, so much, and big things are coming in 2021. So look forward to that. Look forward to what you're going to see with me. You can go watch my my New Year's video that's going to be coming out the day after this to see my plans for 2021. But until then, I will see you in 2021. But once again, thank you so much for watching this, for watching anything else you have watched. But I'm the AC. See you in 2021. Bye.